Hey, good evening. It is 7:30 straight up on the East Coast, whatever time it is for you on the West Coast or the Northeast or South, Central, Mountain, Pacific, wherever you are, it's whatever time it is there, so adjust yourself accordingly. Tuesday Night Live, Boogie with the Bull Uncensored. Dave Woven is here. Hang on just a second. Michael Anthony is trying to connect through his... We'll know in just a moment. No? Hang on. Everybody say a prayer. Michael, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I'm surprised.
Well, we know that sometimes you just do whatever you got to do, and you do it however you got to do it. So we're going to do it. We're going to have some fun. We're going to get information out to people, just like we normally would. I didn't plan anything, but then again, I never planned anything today, except tonight's opening question, which is, are the Democrats running Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, the governor of the state of Muslim soda, as I called it? And people got mad at me for saying that, but I believe that in Minnesota is actually one of the largest, I don't know what you call it, encampment or compound training facility for radicalized Muslims. And it's happening here in the United States. You know about it. You probably know more about it than I do, Michael, aside from a few people that I know that live in Minnesota and pass me information about it all the time. So that got me wondering, is Kamala Harris being set up? Let's just say for a moment that Trump doesn't win, J.D. Vance doesn't become vice president. You think Obama has plans for VP Walz to use the 25th Amendment or a Republican House and Senate, if we are blessed with both, to...
well, you've got 100 questions already, Dave. I mean, finish so I can try to reflect on everything that I can remember.
It's one of those things where... I throw out 500 questions and hope
that's
one and answers it.
I know, dude. That's not logical. We got to stay focused. Okay. One of the largest encampments. Well, yeah. I mean, things surround evidence that way that we could speculate that that's factually true. But again, I'm saying using the words speculate. Joe Obama, the 25th. I would think that might be an avenue, a possibility. I think they are playing the field. I think the war and the commercialized politics system on TV is now started. Kamala Harris is going to start projecting her thoughts of the woke Tristanist, who she really is. And what has she done as vice president? What has she answered to as vice president? Nothing. And turned everything around and twisted it into a laughing matter. She's never been to the border. She's never helped anything. She's been mainly quiet through the whole term of the 4 years. But is she credible, and can she ask questions, and can she be logical? No doubt about it. She's playing the field, the dumb field, the same dumb field that they put Joe in to give him protection if it ever became necessary, while all the paper pushers and pencil pushers in the White House were doing all the other work through the Joe Obama administration of the third term. Do they want to come back? Of course they want to come back. They want to remain strong. They want to change the environment of the world on every level that they possibly can. Do they want to make us USA of Venezuela? Of course they do. They want to kill the dollar. They don't want a depression. But they're starting to block the chain on us when we're seeing everything that we are seeing and dealing with. In my viewpoint of it, when we watch, the Dow Jones and Wall Street and et cetera, letting us know that we do have this power. And some places have woken up in the last couple of days and their money's no longer in bank. So we are being forewarned. Also, we are being, now navigating through a storm in the east where we have been attacked by a couple of missiles, where the United States sits. We have injuries. We don't know if we have casualties. And we also know as we entered heading there into the east to and for whatever reason, because they all look lost sitting in that skiff that the picture was taken from on what do we do next? Well, while they're doing what do we do next, 300 warships from Putin followed them in. So right now, we're starting to see the extremities of the importance of why, as a country and us, must remain secure, must remain strong, and must remain fighting and not give up. We need everybody out there to give us a thumbs up, to share us to their groups, to get this message out, to get these words out to people so we can elevate and all become strong together as an independent country. We don't need any other country to survive, but it's going to take a little give and take with the Trump administration moving into place to get things moving and jump-starting America back. It's going to take that, but I know we can do it as a sole entity, and I know Trump is trying to focus his best that way. I hope I covered everything, because you did say a lot, Dave.
I did, and like I said, I apologize, but it always was throw out a bunch of questions and hope that anybody with me caught one and made a note, and as we would go around the table, different people would have different views on different things. Jen Woodruff is not with us this morning. This evening. She is entertaining members of her church, her new church, or their new church, which is her church. And so she is off with them. And anybody that wants to come in and join us is more than welcome to come in and join us, provided we can get a link to you. And other than that, 53 shares have been sent out now. Watch us anywhere you want. I do want to just let people know, if you're watching us other than here on my profile and you're in a live chat in that group, it's not monitored. So if you want to be in the monitored live chat, please come to my profile and watch from here. Share it to all the groups that you want to share it to while you're watching. Just be here on my profile if you want me to see your comment, read your comment, and make you part of the broadcast. And now we get back to Tuesday night with Michael and Dave and anybody else already in progress.
Yeah. So here we are again. We're watching dilemmas everywhere in the world, and against us. And I know that many people don't want to watch regular television and so forth. But I do want you to understand, you will be able to catch a lot of the war and get the warmongering ideas that they're utilizing against us in our fight to come back for 2024 and start America great again. By us, voting in the man that we have that has the logic and means to do it. And that's where the safe side is. However, I'm highly disappointed in my own city. I grew up with people here that just praise what the Biden administration has done for the city of Pittsburgh. But that's where the woke church comes in. That's where she sends her messages out in the way that she does. They are planning to always be able to take care of the people until they need them no more, and they get what they want, even with them, the ones who helped them, hitting a brick wall that they will face at some point, because as it happens in politics and new government controls, as we always known, when they're done with you, they're done with you. And they will be done with. But I can't make people wake up here. It's disheartening. It's disappointing. I grew up with people that I thought were great people, and I guess I misjudged that. I really believe I misjudged that. And, if you're down for teaching kids this filth, you're not a friend of mine. And if you're on my page, X yourself off, because you don't belong there. And as I discover any others like that, I will remove you. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. This is the way the world has become. And I'm appalled that so many people in the city of Pittsburgh, where their fathers, grandfathers, forefathers of America built this city.
Okay.
Dave, is that your phone ringing or mine?
It rang. It was mine. It rang. I sent it to voicemail. It was.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off a little bit. I had to look down because I apologize, everybody. Such severe storms were directed into the city of Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas with tornadoes and horrific winds and so forth. The gutters couldn't even handle the water systems that were falling from the skies. So I was dealing with that, and to be safe, I didn't want to fire up the studio. I just had it all redone. I had a beautiful young man sit there and went through everything, and it's all top notch, and it has all the things that anybody could want to defend off all the bugs, viruses, and evilness of the world. And so they tell me they did, and I believe them because I see the functions working so much better than they ever had. And I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I know when something's better than what I had. So these guys were great. And I want to send a shout out to Carmine for coming in to do that for me. It was kind of like a birthday gift to me, showing up to work on it. But anyway, with that said, Dave, there's so many things to address. You know, we have a woman that started her career on knee pads. You know, I mean, it's true. It's true. And she's not stupid. I've heard her years back sitting on a stool in front of her constituents, drilling people, and she can drill. She's quick-witted. She's well thought. She can direct. She can deliver. Everything we're seeing now is just a scam. It's a nightmare. It's a scam. And she's the woketress, and she's guiding us in for, as we know, what we think we know, the new third term that has been with us the past 4 years, rival.
What happens to her in November when she loses the election? Will the Democrats be done with her? Will they will? I would assume that they're not going to hold her until 2028 and try to run her again in 2028.
Well, she's probably going to live lavishly on a nice pension and, move forth somehow. I can only speculate on what she would do, but I think she would be in the background having tea with the Clintons, where they sit doing the same type of thing when they lost. And she'll be taking lessons from them because they're all still tied with the Soros Foundation and more, that, the destructions of America, the enemy of America. And I think she'll just further herself down that avenue some way, but she'll do it on our buck. And the sad part is our tax dollars that we work for, that's being destroyed, from our strong middle class to give our middle class lifestyle to the people that sit home undeservingly somehow, that are now able to receive it from doing little next to nothing. So, I can't really answer that. I mean, I think if I lost an election and I had to walk away, I would take the advantages with me and I would probably go about my own life. I don't think that she's all about that, and they may have more needs for her in the future. Sometimes when you're in this, for them to win it, you're not allowed to leave. You're just not allowed to leave.
Yeah, but they'll give you something to bury you where people don't need you. They'll, I don't know, they'll find a nice cell for her at Gitmo, or I don't know. The whole thing just doesn't make sense to me anymore.
Well, again, yeah, you're absolutely correct, but you're delivering a different ideology of your thought. And your thought is that you're hoping she goes to prison and charged with crimes on humanity. And yes, we all hope for that. But for
Actually,
her,
I'm hoping if she gets charged with that, honestly, I'm going to word it this way. I'm hoping she doesn't go to prison. That doesn't mean that she doesn't get convicted of things. I'm just hoping that she doesn't go to prison. Because to be honest with you, say she's around my age, I'm 62. She's going to prison for life, and she's 62 years old. She got at least 38 years before she serves before she serves that life term. And I don't think we should have to support. I don't think our taxes should have to support those people.
Yeah, but the laws say that we do until they're found guilty or charged in a way.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, if something like that made sense to happen, would it disqualify her from all of the benefits? It most certainly could. I've never really looked deep into that, David. Something I'd be glad to try to throw around.
Are these hearings and trials that I keep referring to, are they going to be done by the military? And the military has a completely different, as we all keep saying, a completely different set of laws and rules that they operate on. Yes, they have to be within the Constitution, I guess, but their rules, I don't want to say supersede the Constitution. They just enhance the job that they can do under the Constitution. So you always hear people say you don't want to ever end up in a military court, because in a military court I would be led to believe that one by one they're up against a brick wall and that's it.
Right. But in a way you have somebody that's committed espionage and more, and has illustrated and helped the invasion of our country from illegals, and protected, even in her governorship, not her governorship, and when she was in California as the state's, the attorney general, where she illustrated her side of the laws to protect illegals. So this is nothing new on her side, but this is where it could nip her in the butt heavily. And how the military would orchestrate around that, and what the military law allows versus citizen law, or if we were to consider maritime law, which I don't think would ever come into the picture, then I think, she would be hung to dry, whether it's to spend the rest of her life on vacation behind bars with a lot of the others like Fauci and Gates and more. And I'm sure there's a long list, just like Epstein Island, for them just waiting for the moment. But again, that moment has to come by Trump getting in office, I would think. And I think we would see a retaliatory action, but not a revengeful action, because they exposed them own selves, as the woketress has now even admitted to.
It's just messed up. I mean,
it is. I get it, brother.
It's just so messed up that and I'm even starting to wonder now, is it just messed up because I'm looking at it through Facebook and how Facebook operates? And I mean, I say almost every night, I don't know why I'm still here on Facebook after 5 years, or why YouTube hasn't cut my cord a long time ago. But I mean, because you do at times, if you're smart enough and lucky enough, leave Facebook for a few minutes or even longer during the day and go other places, and it's the same stuff we're dealing with here in the Facebook newsfeed and our groups on the broadcasts and everything else, but it's just feels different.
Well, it feels different because when they came into power and ripped up Trump's executive orders, they mandated new executive orders and new authorities of action through the government, and they started coming directly at us by controlling our freedom of speech and more, removing Trump from platforms, removing me from a platform, removing you and putting you in Facebook jail, removing all of our friends, that were trying to do good, just voice ourselves under the freedom that we have in our God-given rights. They don't acknowledge our God-given rights because they have a different God than we do. They are a different entity of people than we are. And, they will come for our churches. They will come for our children. They will come to depopulate. They have already demonstrated they're doing it. They did it, and they are coming more and harder. America has to remember that all our family members that have passed away due to the contaminant that was released, due to the vaccinations that were released, and everything else that was done to us as we go into the next few 90 days left into this election. We must not forget the harm that they have caused and how they went after our children in schools and more. And I know I may be repeating myself a little bit there, but these are some of the harshest realities that we cannot forget that happened. And we never want them to happen again. We are the cure, Dave, the people, us together. But we are going to have a battle of a fight because they have a lot more that they haven't used yet. What you've seen happen in Seattle and Chicago and the fires and the statues coming down is only a little hint of what they really have ready in the numbers that are standing, waiting for the order. And right now, we're seeing things being demonstrated. You know, we had somebody who basically self-appointed herself. And how does that happen when you're the lowest person on the totem pole, being looked at across the United States of America? And people say, like Randy might have mentioned, don't believe polls. Well, you can't believe polls. He has a marketing degree, so I guess maybe he somehow looked into it different than me. The point is the point. The point is the point. You know, when you need a puppet, you place a puppet. And our elections for 75 years have been under selection. Selection, not the people's voices through the election.
I guess what I want to say is, and we've been touching upon this in all the YouTube videos I watch lately, I guess I just don't, I'm starting to understand, I don't know how it's worked and how it's survived so long. We're really operating under like 3 different governments, and each with their own quote unquote constitution, all operating under, I guess, whatever. They either wrote their own constitution or like I said earlier, you know, you got the military, which operates within the Constitution, but under its own completely different set of rules that, you know, day by day now I'm starting to wonder, are they, God forbid she gets elected on November 6th. On November 6th, are they going to knock on your door if you have a gun, Michael, and ask for your gun? Are they going to show up? Are they going to show up at Jerry Michael's house, the host of American Rebellion? Are they going to show up at his house and try to get his gun? Are they going to show up at everyday people watching us on Facebook? Chuck Cook, Robin Brunson, Jane O'Malley. Are they going to show William Grant? Are they going to show up at these people's houses?
That's their plan.
Say, bend over and give us your guns. Or are they going to do even worse? Are they just going to knock on your door, drag you out of your house, cuff you, lay you down on the pavement, and go into your house and ransack your house until they find whatever it is they want?
Well, you know what? I mean, you know, here's the deal, dude. They got a thumbprint on everybody in the United States. You can try to hide and create a new name. They got your thumbprint. They know how to track and trace you. They've already done all that homework. What you're asking me is very simple. And the question that you needed to ask me is even more simpler. Yes, within the first 100 days, they admitted it will happen. They admitted it will happen, and we will see an immediate change and the direction of the law and how they intend to handle it. So they're coming after us. They're coming after everybody. And remember, you know, you're not the parents. The school teachers are the new parents of the world. You know, we're living in disarray. We're living in disbelief, but it's a reality. It's factual. It's here. It's truthful. And, you know, that's why I'm asking everybody. You may not want to hear it. You may not want to listen to it. But if you want to watch the corruption, this is going to be the dirtiest political war that you'll ever experience in your lifetime.
You know, and is it safe to to say, we all want President Trump back in there. We want to keep the Republican House. We want to take back the Senate. We want to have the majority of everything. And
it has to happen that way, though, Dave. And I think you know that.
Even if it does, it's not just going to be that easy. They're not just going to, Obama's not just going to walk inside the White House and kneel down, walk inside the gates of the White House and kneel down and wait for President Trump and his attorney general to come arrest him and accept his apologies or whatever. I mean, this is, if good wins, there's still going to be a fight against evil. If evil wins,
well, that's been since the beginning of time.
Around, and I'm looking at your box, which is kind of hard because I can't see your face. I understand that.
Well, you're not missing anything.
No. I understand. But I mean, I'm waving my arms around, and I'm just, and then I look and there's the box, but I know that you're seeing. But it's just we've been doing this you and I have been doing this together for 5 years, and it's really weird as we have been talking about it the last couple of days. Our views, our shares, our live views, our total views, meaning people watching after we were live, they're not by any means, they're not Bongino, Alex Jones, Steve Bannon numbers, but I mean, people are watching us. And I just it's kind of sad that this is why people are watching us. I mean, they're watching us. It's great that they're watching us, but it's kind of sad that this is what's going on in America, and this is what we have to keep talking to America about. It's sad. I mean,
right. It's that regurgitation that I don't like to put in people's heads. But I think right now, with the enormity of the issue, there's a time to come back and start to say things again. And it's a must do. It's a must do over. We have to remind everybody of the concern, of the warnings, of what has happened and what could possibly happen worse in the future for humanity on this planet, because they don't truly have a need for us. They have a different plan of agenda, whatever that may all be. I don't know, and I won't speculate on it, but we have to stand together and stand strong. Strength is in numbers, and that's the truth of the fact. And if we all keep arguing over indifferences or trying to outdo each other, then we're going to fail as a unified party. And I think we found the person, and his pick, Trump and Vance, to come in to do it. Now, I don't know why he made these choices, but I think he has other knowledge of things that you and I may not be aware of. Or this might turn into the fact that he gets in and it all starts over again as another retaliation on him. But if we do hold the upper hand in Senate and Congress, I think that does give us the upper hand and the control of the system. Maybe not all of it, because you are going to have rhinos on both sides, and we're going to find out a whole new set that has arrived or has come out or was forced to come out due to favoritism, due to maybe very evil, nefarious things that they were involved in on the island or with children. There is always a motive of something at play, and they have a lot on everybody. So this war's not going to end just because.
Hang on a second. Okay.
This war's not going to end that way just because we get the White House back. The White House is just a place of representation for America. It doesn't matter where a good man is, as long as he's a great leader. That's why we can be here. It doesn't matter that we're not at the top of the league with the rest of the big voices of America. The point is, we make sense to America. We discuss things with America. We try to deliver to America theories of logic and facts of patriotism and true ideologies for for what a future could be in the world with transparency. So that's who I am. That's how I live. As I said before, I couldn't be more disappointed in the city I live in. And I know many people think that, see that, but these same cities have already been in the plan of design. And you know, I thought I had it, and I'll be the first one to admit I was wrong. I really thought Shapiro was the stronger leader of them all until something was disclosed to me early this morning. And I didn't know how this was going to go. I really didn't know. But I found out some things about Shapiro that they feared. And he's a criminal. He's a criminal. And all he has in mind is a political gain. And I think they knew it, and I think they took that as a warning. But still, you have another pick that's no better than the other guy that was on, you know, Shapiro, in line to possibly being named and picked to be part of the White House party. You know, even Fetterman said, you couldn't have picked the worst guy. I mean, why would John Fetterman say that? You know, I mean, unless he's worried about the delivery of a system and has come to his common senses and is now fearing the worst because he knows the worst will come for humanity. And it really will when you look at it, because as they keep saying, and I hate to go on here and I'll stop, we have more for you. And they tell us that in the form of viruses, etc. And I'm going to say viruses, etc. And they will demean us. They will push us down. They will try to dumb us down. They will poison our food, poison our air, direct weather problems, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, cyclones.
Nanoparticles in whatever you drink.
Well, nanoparticles are in there. You want to hear something worse about what's in your drink? Poop.
What?
Poop.
Well, I'm sure it is. I mean,
no, truthfully, they put it in a vat in a container, and they add a couple chemicals to it. It foams up. They take the foam, they dry the foam, and they ship it off to these companies. And these companies are the ones that supported everything, that gave money to Black Lives Matter. You know who they are. They're all the ones that are in the fast food and the processed food and in the drink industry that are adding that. We are drinking these bacteria.
I mean, I don't want to know, but I guess we have to understand that, like you just said, what specifically is in everything that we're putting into our bodies, as well as, whatever you're putting into your body, what is in there. Because our government has always said, you know what? You want to put bird poop in Dave's McDonald's fries? We'll say,
look, there's more man-made chemicals in these fast food products than natural.
We'll say you can put so much of this, whatever it is, that will eventually kill every man, woman, and child that ingests it in America, because we'll use the FDA to say a certain percentage of that is okay. And as long as you don't exceed whatever percentage you tell us you want to put in, say it's 5% cow dung in potato chips. Well, they'll say it's okay because you don't get
vitamin B.
You don't get hurt. Right, but you don't get hurt until you start ingesting 6% of it.
Well, it's all considered to be a positive vitamin B. I say it's nonsense. The theory and logic behind that, is it doesn't go with me. It just doesn't go with me. It angers me to no end. It really does. But
people are stupid enough to just sit back and go, okay.
Yeah. See, that's why, you know what, I come on to shows like this and I try to help people. I try to help myself too in ways, because I do learn from some people. It could be just that one thing that puts the thought of logic into your head in a good way. But it angers me to even do shows like this because of how graphic everything is that we're dealing with and what they would do to us. My own brother once said to me, Michael, would they do this? Would they really do all this to us? Well, I hope he's somewhere tonight thinking about what he asked me, because I said, Abso-freaking-lutely.
Right.
I answered it. And you know what? I was on a show with you that day 3 or 4 years ago in South North Carolina, coming up from a music thing that I did. And I was heading in. I stopped at his house for a couple weeks, and I did a show sitting out in the lawn. You and Randy were on, and we were talking. And I can remember that vividly, and I even had to apologize him because, as I said, my anger takes over because I know the deception we are under. Yeah. I did this 52 years and 51 and a half years to be precise, on all levels of everything. And everything of anything that we believe is going on in the government actually is.
Right. And people just sit back and go, no, this is America. That crap doesn't happen.
But it happens every day. And, we've witnessed it. We are awake. We really are awake. Not because Donald J. Trump said to be awake, be aware, learn, research, listen to me. He's repeating the things that he wants people to understand, too, I guess, for his reasoning, the same as I do mine.
Right.
And I'm gonna take my hat off to him and respect that, because you know what? I'm no better than any other man. And I think he's the type right now where he's at in his own mindset that he's no better than any of us. And he understands that we are the power for him to get in. And we need a power to push in, to get in, to vote in, to bring forth, to change this all. And I don't know if we can change it all because even while, and I don't want to double down dog Trump, I don't. But even while he was in office, he didn't agree with everything, but it was kind of like agree to disagree on many topics. One being the delivery of the weather control systems that they put in place, where millions of dollars were going to these people, and our own military was spraying us for the better good. For the better good or what? The planet's overheating. No, they can heat us. They can bake us. They know how to do it. They know all the elements. But he couldn't even stop it. When he decided to say, I'm not on board with this, and he went and he weighed down the amount of money, I think it was like $50 million, which was a $49,999,000 too much. But they ripped that order up, and Biden gave him $500,000. Yeah. Because by them doing that, they contaminate us in other ways, with the food, with the air, with the water. And then they push you to work, to struggle to the age of now 67 and a half to be able to retire, to even get a benefit from Social Security. And that is how they do it. It's to suffocate you, to put you in fear. These storms put a lot of people in fear. Some people go right down to the basement. I watched people in Sarasota, Florida today with their houses flooded everywhere. And I'm not saying that it was caused by what they're doing, but I do know that they're working out on the water. I do know that they're working out in desolate areas. I know that we have radio towers that are faked as trees. And I think if we started all taking these things down, you would see the element of the weather start to change because they wouldn't be able to control it. This was the weather pattern of control. When Trump got out of office, overnight, you've seen all these mystery towers get put in place. Does your phone work better? No. Does your internet work better? No. But the weather is working better for them.
And if you ask people that know, because here where we are in Florida, there are literally cell towers across the street from each other. And at intersections, there are 4 cell towers, one on every corner. And there is no reason to have towers that close that look identical. And then if you do some of the research, you find out, they're sending frequencies out, and these things look just like cell towers.
Yes. It was
and if they're T-Mobile, they actually even look like trees that line the highway.
Exactly. Yeah. So their descriptions of what people think they see, they're not looking into the forestry because they're everywhere, and they do guide. There's a thing on one of my paranormal, believe it or not, kind of like descriptive pages, groups that I have, where John F. Kennedy says clearly to the American people in a speech that we will work, and we have begun on weather modifications. So this goes back how long? The early 60s? So, I mean, what are the advancements in 60 years? A lot. They can't control this earth in the way that they want. and everything is utilized as a weapon. Of course, it truly is utilized as a weapon. And again, can we make all of it stop? I don't know. It's going to have to be a hell of a plan, and it's going to be costly, and it's going to take a lot of manpower. And I hope America's up for it, because they're going to be called on. America's going to be called on, but it's going to be a different type of tactical.
Even if Trump were to sit down tomorrow, say the election's done, he's in, there's a billion Biden executive orders that put all of this into place. Some of this has to be set up by them and those that are doing it, that you can't just walk into a room where the computer that controls this is or that is and shut it off and think that it's just going to automatically revert back. It's, I'm sure things were screwed up to a point, or things were set up to screw up things to a point that it's like you said, it's just not as easy as turning it off and hoping it's going to revert back to the way it is. How long is it going to take to clean it all up?
A long time, more than 4 years.
Yeah.
More than 4 years. But maybe that's why he picked a youth, a young guy, military guy, someone that has values, someone that has family, someone that has a wife, someone that has reason to fight for America. And that's where I got to put my hope, because I, as a man, cannot help to change anything except by using my voice as I have. That's all I have as a component of a war tactic, besides backing him up or, supporting him. So here we are, welcome to the new America. And we need the old America back. We really do. We need to crush the corporation, and we need to create new currency. We need to protect people's assets. And if anything bad happens, we need the administration to somehow figure out how they can retaliate it back to get our funds back. Because I think that one of the major components of attack is to drain our accounts. Our 401s just banged off the wall and turned and tumbled to the ground the other day. A lot of people are looking at 9/11 all over again. When the world stood still, that day the big zone took place. But again, it's going to take every man, woman, and child. And I'm never going to be tired of saying it, because we have to teach our children well. We really do. And parts of how we'll do that is the examples we set for them now. Do you know right now, David, in America, you can get a medical marijuana card and smoke pot under the age of 21, but you still need to have, be of a certain age to drink alcohol. I mean, things are flipping around in a way that we would never have thought possible. But this is the new norm, as they called it. I'm only sharing part of what their new norm was. They should love me for it. Mr. Rothschild, hello, how are you? Thank you for your invite and for you acknowledging me, or whoever you are, one of his minions. I don't know. I'm never going to come to your side. It just ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So here, Dave, we're going to be warriors. When I said Warriors of the 10, Studio 10 Broadcasting, I wasn't joking. When I came up with the day after the election and Solid Steel, and I put up the red resistance, and I put up the red is not dead, this is not over until the fat lady said, I did it for all the right reasons. I did it because I knew we were going to be in a war for 4 years, not because a guy named Derek Johnson said, watch what happens when we open up the military law book. Nothing happened. Thank you very much, sir. You were wrong. I wasn't. And I'm not saying he was bad or good. I think he had the right intentions. But again, he writes a book. He puts out a song. It comes down to the dollar. And many people chase that buck, and that's sad. That saddens me even more than anything, because people will go where the buck stands because they think they're getting better information, when these people wouldn't even talk about what I talked about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. Here I am still talking about it. Go ahead, dude. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I read something about Derek Johnson while we're talking about him the other day, that supposedly the Army, I believe, had a $11 million contract with the UFL for advertising, and evidently it didn't take place. And now I guess the Army has decided whether or not they sue him for like $6 or $7 million that remains on the contract and try to get it back. So, I mean, it's got to be a sad day in America where you get hired to do something. you get hired to advertise something for the federal government and you don't do it. And they come back after you and ask for their money back.
Yeah, it's funny that component works for them, but if you and I were to do it, it would cost us $7 or $8 million to fight it in the courtroom.
Oh, I'm sure. We'd probably never get it fought.
Like I always said, there are power in words, there is power in the language, there is power in how the things are written. Yes, you said we have a few different justice systems, of course. We have an injustice system, we have a justice system, we have maritime, we have corporate. So we have many systems abroad that work for many different reasons on many levels that only point fingers to certain areas of law. But we do have them, and it's a conflict between many of them, and they make sure they jump us in and out of the conflict of them because it keeps everything out of the courtroom. Whatever happened to Hunter being found guilty? Nothing. Whatever happened to Fauci? Basically, I mean, come on. We watched everything. We know everything. We watched the good constituents of Washington fight the fight for us and got nowhere doing it. And I know their frustrations. Marjorie Taylor Greene was using Green was used the F-bomb the other day on an interview, and she's just so fed up with it. It's pathetic. But what do you do when your Congress and Senate of the Republican Party, or no matter where they stand, but they stand with you, can get nothing done? It's frustration, and they're living part of the same scenario that we are.
They are. I want to. Chuck Cook posted a comment in the live chat that said Rock County, which I believe is Maryland. I could be mistaken, but Rock County had another tornado warning last night. So I hope everybody in that area is safe and take care of everybody as best as you can down there, yourselves included. And we here in Florida, I think we just saw rain and the sky's kind of, it's not 100% clear, but it's much clearer than it was yesterday and today. So hopefully it's on its way to leaving us.
Well, it's supposed to hit us, I believe, Friday, work its way up. Now, there could be some changes in direction. I mean, who's to say?
Yeah.
But also earlier this evening, Doug Mastriano, who ran against Shapiro for the governorship in 22, who actually won. If you talk to anybody, nobody voted for Shapiro, but selection by election. Same with Trump. We know how that went. He had posted and that we were going through certain areas in Pennsylvania with very disturbing weather and tornado systems, 75-mile-an-hour winds. I know we had close to 65 to 66 just an hour ago. I mean, things were just blowing everywhere with that wind factor. Imagine if it went to 75 to 100. But, this is not a new norm. This is a creation. When you look in the sky, you can see the fakeness. How people are blind saying, oh, isn't this beautiful? They're looking at a rainbow of nanoparticles that are assisting this progression of this weather delivery system that they've created. That's all it is. That's all it is. Even if the sun's burning a little hotter, I can tolerate that. But what would make the Earth itself be more pleasant would be if you get out of the skies and let the air move. What they do is they put up nanoparticles, the sun hits them, it does reflect, but while it's reflecting, it's baking everything underneath it. That's where the humidity and the sweat factor comes in. People were just thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this weather. Well, look up in the skies and see while you're dealing with it. I talked to you, and I talked about this a long time ago of what was to come. I really tried to give everybody a heads up.
The chemtrails and all of that.
People said, wow, what a beautiful sky. I was putting up lines like, come on, you can't tell that's the letter X. Come on, that's a natural cloud. The letter X is a natural cloud.
Well, it was pretty funny because some of those chemtrails looked like they were trying there were hidden meanings in some of those chemtrails. They just weren't a plain, flying, blowing out a white trail from some exhaust pipe. They were really ornate drawings, kind of like when you look down on a farmer's field and you see the things cut in that everybody says, "Oh my God, no, it's a space message or something,"
Yeah. Well, if you fly at the right altitude, you can create condensation. You can create ice particles. If you add plastics to that and silver and barium, it creates other things. And you can also add colorings. If you go out for the 4th of July to watch the plane show, you can see red, white, and blue, plain as day. That should be enough for people to understand that they can manipulate the sky and make a summer day look like a fall day. And they can actually add the ice particles to the atmosphere to cool it. There is a way to cool if it's necessary, but they're not utilizing it to cool. They're utilizing it to terrorize.
Delilah's jumping around and being psycho. She's just shaking her head.
Oh, you have the producer with you tonight. Welcome to the show, Delilah.
The producer is with me every night.
Yeah, I know. Well, I hope I didn't burst your bubble. I hope I made it in time. I'm going to cut off, brother. It's going to be coming up on an hour.
You made it in on time, and I have to sometimes just throw up my arms and say to people, okay, I understand. If you can't be on at 7, but you can be on at 7:30, then that's when you do it. Unfortunately for me, it's like I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I start worrying about what I'm going to do at 7 o'clock. And then at 6:45, when someone says, oh, can you push it to 7:30? It's like my brain is like.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. It was all storm related.
I don't care.
I did not want to fire that room up. Right. I just didn't.
No, I understand.
A couple years ago, I went through something where I didn't bother to pay enough attention to what was going to happen. And we had some very solid wind bursts, power lines, trees down. I lost all power. I lost 2 televisions. I lost my Wi-Fi. I had damage in the studio. I really did. I mean, it just electrified the house because my luck, a tree fell right outside on the main pole that feeds my house, and it charged back into the system on my fuse box. And it went into some of the plugs, not all of them. And then I had to sit for 4 days waiting for them to come out and fix it, which, get this, they actually fixed it in a day and a half. But they forgot to reset the transformer on top, which is just a button. Once it's fixed, you hit that button and it allows the electricity to travel through the next set of wires. Well, they didn't do it. We didn't know it. And we sat here for 4 days, me and my daughter and stuff. And I went to my son's because it was closer to go to his house for a generator to protect the food, just isolate, cook on a grill. Yeah, but it turned into a, kind of a fun thing. But the truth of the matter is I lost a lot. I really did. And now the minute I know it's getting to get bad, I go into protection mode because I never know how bad it'll get. I've had a tree fall on a car. You saw that. I have the worst luck when it comes to.
I am never going to let you live that down because I seem to recall you telling me that it looked like bad weather and you parked that car there. And I seem to recall telling you, don't leave that car there. It's going to happen. And sure enough, it did. Fortunately, it didn't get very hurt, you said.
No, it did. It's really funny that like one little sticklet protected the car enough for me to back it out from under it like a big U. Yep. So it was kind of crazy. And so anyway, answer me this question. How many live viewers are you having tonight? I hope it's going well.
We got, the last time I looked, it was over 100, which is always very good. 100. Well, wait a minute. Let me strike it again and go back in and take a look. It was, I think we got, we have 109 on one count. Yeah, we have 109 on one count, so it's probably somewhere between 110. and 120 right now. We sent to 53 groups tonight, which was a little more just to make sure we got. So, we're getting it. I need to stop worrying. I go, most of my thing was going, there's people that tune in at 7:00. If you tell them 7:30, well, they might not be able to be there. But you know what? I got to say that the people that watch us are great, because I don't know. I've often said sometimes that, if I had to wait for someone to come on at a certain time, I might not do it myself. And here's what this is what I do. So we appreciate everybody that makes time, and we also have a very loyal, I have to say, very, very loyal podcast viewership where we'll get 100, like I said, 109, 120, 150 people watching us live, and within 24 to 48 hours, we'll have 900 to close to 1,000 people watching. So we might not be in the right time for everybody, but everybody's finding the right time, and I'm very happy that they continue to do that. Anyway, well, we might have lost Michael. He was very afraid. He did tell me just before we went live that he did. He lost. He lost his link for a second, so by the time he gets back, we'll be done. But weather is bad in Pittsburgh, and weather is bad in a lot of other places throughout the country. Please be safe. If you get that order that tells you to pack up and evacuate, please pack up and evacuate. Take your animals with you, because everybody seems to say that when you get to where you're supposed to be, they'll tell you either where to take your animals for them to be safe, or sometimes you'll be at the same place. You'll be in one area and your animals will be in another area. So please do that. Please be careful. Please, if you are, our governor can't say it enough every morning, and it looks like I said, it looks like it passed over us, but our governor can't say it enough. If you lose your power and you run a generator, do not run it inside. Follow the established protocols. Put it outside, 20 feet away from your house, and run it. And just try to be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Carbon monoxide is not something you want to try to sleep through, because you won't. And on that note, it's 8:28, so we still came on a little late and did the same amount of time. So let's see. The next one tomorrow is Wednesday. Is Wednesday morning caffeine. Not sure who will be on Wednesday morning caffeine tomorrow. If you're interested, let me know by about 9:30, 9:45 the latest, or just come into the live link on my profile here on Facebook and tell me you want to come on, and we will slap you on. Thursday night live is always open. Anyone who wants to come on is more than welcome to come on. Thank you for watching, Chuck. Jane O'Malley, thank you for watching. Anybody else? Let me see. Let me scroll back and see. Jane O'Malley and Chuck Cook had the live chat going. Robin Brunson, thank you for watching. Robin makes time. If she can watch during the day, she does. On her break at work, Jane O'Malley does the same thing. If Jane can't catch it during the day, she'll catch it at night. And that's what I have always said. If we're not on at if we're live at a time that is not good for you, then watch the podcast. And if that doesn't work, then come and be part of the broadcast. But let's see. William Grant was watching Onyx Nasyaj. I hope I didn't butcher that name, Onyx. You're watching. You're new. Don't know which group you're watching in. And Patricia Bathurst Schaefer. Patricia Bathurst Schaefer is watching. Watching usually means that you're on my profile and you're watching. You're just not in the live chat. And as I've always said, I will tend to not necessarily try to embarrass you, but try to get you to come into the live chat and be part of the conversation. It's very important to me that if you're watching, that you're part of the conversation, because I don't know everything. In some cases, I don't know anything. And it's interesting just to have people on and give everybody a chance to speak for themselves. I wasn't going to do anything on this, but unfortunately, Randy Rhoads has decided to pull the plug on his genealogy-related broadcasts. I don't know if it's temporary or permanent. This time it was posted on his Facebook profile before we went live. If you are a genealogy customer of his or interested in his doing your genealogy, please continue to contact him to see if he is still doing those services. I don't know. I believe he still is. He's just not doing the broadcasts related to them. And I hope, because he may not be working on those broadcasts all the time, maybe he'll continue to be here with me Monday, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Going to try to see if we can make some changes to Red Friday morning with Bill Muckler returns at 10 a.m. this Friday. We're going to try to add Jen Woodruff and Randy Rhoads to the panel with Bill and myself, hopefully. And that will keep that broadcast going. Hey, 90-something days before the next election. And you can vote for whoever you want. As far as I'm concerned, just go out there and make sure you're registered and you vote. Make sure everybody else you know is registered and they vote. You want to vote for Kamala Harris and Governor Walz? By all means, go ahead and do that. You want to vote for President Trump and Senator Vance? By all means, please do that. You want to vote for me? Vote for me. I'm not running. I actually suspended my joking campaign about me running for Facebook CEO 2024. I actually suspended it because I actually don't want the job at this time. Kind of happy with what we're doing. But like I said with Michael earlier, live views are going way up. Podcast views are going even higher. So I'm glad that people are watching. If there is a better time than times that we are doing it, like if 10 o'clock in the morning is not good for a majority of you and 7 o'clock in the evening is better, then maybe that's what we'll do. We'll move everything to 7 o'clock in the evening. I don't really know. Can't really make that promise, because if I'm home and the studio is available at 10 o'clock in the morning and I feel like going on, 10 o'clock in the morning is a good time to go on. But anyway, I think in the near future, we're going to try to move things, for me, as far as I'm concerned, to the 7 o'clock evening block, because most of the shows that I want to be a guest on are in the 7 o'clock hour. And Tuesday and Thursday night seem to be doing incredibly well. So maybe we will do that. Anyway, I don't really know. I'm rambling right now, so it's time to say you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Uncensored Tuesday night live, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And we didn't violate anybody's copyright tonight. We're not doing something right for a change. Anyway, I want to thank our hosts over at YouTube and Google, because they've been very polite to me lately and haven't done any... Usually they run about 6 months behind in sending violations to me of violating YouTube rules, and I think it's been almost a year since the last time there was any issues with YouTube and Google. And Facebook, on the other hand, well, if you're a conservative patriot on Facebook these days, a group owner, an admin, or anything, you know that if the algorithms get mad at you, you get a 1 hour restriction that turns into a several hour restriction that can turn into a several day restriction from being able to post on your groups or groups that you're in or in the Facebook news feed. Bear with it, hammer through it, put up with it, and just do what you can. And if it gets to a point where you can't, then maybe it's time to leave. Time to leave Facebook and go someplace else. Anyway, we're live on the Dave Goldman profile here on Facebook and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel over there. You should go over and like the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and if you want to share the broadcasts anywhere off of Facebook, I prefer you go over to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and take it from there. And put it anywhere you want. Then just let me know where you put it, because I want to go over and watch it and see the response that we get over there as well. Anyway, I'm Dave Goldman. Thank you for letting me abuse your time this evening. Double V through victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. We will hit this one. Like I said, on this Chromebook, it takes a little bit longer for it